In film, a plot twist is a tool for resolution. In these criminal investigations, however, the twists served a different purpose. They were the primary methods used to obscure the crimes from view. In April 1990, a young mother named Sharon Marshall was found unconscious along a Florida highway, the apparent victim of a hit-and-run. 6 years earlier, a 4-year-old boy named Gregory Villemin vanished from his front garden in a quiet rural community in eastern France. And in 1994, a 13-year-old boy named Nicholas Barclay disappeared in San Antonio, Texas, in what authorities initially classified as a routine runaway case. A highway accident, a missing toddler, and a teenage runaway. These incidents appear to be straightforward tragedies with standard investigative procedures. Yet each of these reports served as the outermost layer of a sequence of hidden events. Following Sharon's accident, her husband Frank acted erratically. While Sharon lay in the hospital, showing signs of recovery, Frank abruptly banned her friends from visiting. 5 days later, she died from her injuries, leaving investigators suspicious of Frank's behavior and the unusual bruising they found on her body. The investigation gained traction when Frank attempted to claim an $80,000 life insurance policy on his late wife. Because he frequently used aliases, the Social Security numbers he provided repeatedly failed to match, forcing him to finally submit his legal name to the insurance company. The name he provided was Franklin Delano Floyd. He was a federal fugitive who had been on the run since skipping bail in 1972, with a criminal record detailing violent abductions, bank robberies, and a prison escape. Floyd's exposure triggered a cascade of secondary crimes. He kidnapped Sharon's young son at gunpoint from an elementary school, and investigators eventually linked him to the skeletal remains of Sharon's former coworker, found in Florida, and tied to a truck Floyd had stolen. The true scope of Floyd's deception remained hidden until 2014, when DNA testing revealed Sharon Marshall's actual identity. She was Suzanne Savakis, a young girl Floyd had kidnapped from her mother in the mid-1970s. He raised her under a series of false names, subjected her to years of abuse, and eventually married her. Floyd utilized the structure of a normal, functioning family to execute a multi-decade kidnapping. He completely erased Suzanne's original identity, allowing him to commit daily atrocities entirely hidden from public view. The Gregory Villemin case began with a grim discovery near Docelles, France. The 4-year-old was found bound and drowned in the Valone River. Shortly after, his parents received taunting, anonymous letters from an individual claiming responsibility, signing off as the Crow. Investigators focused on the family's inner circle. Handwriting experts and a witness statement pointed to the boy's cousin, Bernard LaRoche, leading to his arrest. When the witness recanted and authorities released LaRoche, Gregory's father, Jean-Marie, decided to act on his own certainty. He tracked his cousin to his workplace and shot him to death. The investigation then reversed course, targeting Gregory's mother, Christine. Based on new handwriting analysis, authorities charged her with her son's murder, suggesting she was the Crow. She was forced into an 11-day hunger strike while pregnant to protest her innocence, before finally being cleared due to lack of evidence. The perpetrator of this crime utilized a specific psychological weapon. By injecting extreme paranoia and suspicion into a grieving family through anonymous letters, the killer ensured the Villemin family would destroy itself from the inside out. 3 years after 13-year-old Nicholas Barclay went missing from his Texas neighborhood, his family received miraculous news. Authorities informed them that Nicholas had been found thousands of miles away in Spain, claiming he had escaped from a global child trafficking ring. The boy who returned to Texas bore little resemblance to the missing teenager. Nicholas had been blonde with blue eyes. This person had dark hair, brown eyes, and spoke with a thick French accent. His family accepted his explanation that his captors had physically altered him to hide his identity. The FBI eventually intervened, securing a court order for fingerprints and DNA. The tests confirmed that the person living in the Barclay home was not Nicholas, but a 23-year-old French serial con artist named Frédéric Bourdin. Bourdin's exposure prompted a chilling theory from investigators. Given how easily the family accepted an obvious impostor, authorities began to suspect that the Barclays, or someone inside the home, had murdered the real Nicholas and welcomed Bourdin to close the missing persons case. A stolen identity is typically used for financial gain or evading the law. In this instance, a bizarre con artist's intrusion may have provided the perfect, willful distraction to shield a family's own dark secret. A scripted thriller is built to resolve its tension, offering clarity to the audience by the final act. True crime rarely affords that luxury, often leaving behind a trail of permanently obscured facts. To this day, Franklin Floyd refuses to speak about Suzanne's death. Despite new DNA and stylometric technology, the true identity of the Crow remains unknown, and the real Nicholas Barclay has never been found. Investigators rely on establishing a factual baseline to solve a crime. But when a perpetrator introduces a high volume of aliases, false leads, and layered deceptions, locating that single truth becomes structurally impossible. Each subsequent lie acts as a barrier. Eventually, the misdirection multiplies to a point where it entirely blocks authorities from seeing the original event. The layers of fabrication in these investigations created a barrier that survived long after the crimes were committed. They demonstrate a capacity for human deception that can successfully and permanently erase reality.